My mom, your mom, they're all the same. They love us, they want us to grow up to be big, and of course strong, and they really want us to succeed in life. So we can see that this relationship between a mother and her child isn't unlike the relationship between our nation and agriculture. Like a child, agriculture needs to be nourished to grow bigger and better, to be safe and secure so no one may ever go hungry, and most importantly, somebody who will fight for it, who will believe in it. So, as a necessity for life, we must not let any aspect of agriculture go unattended. We must face any and all problems with that stern sense of motherhood. So today it's time to turn attention to a prominent need in agriculture. 2011, over 1 million cattle died due to respiratory problems. Respiratory problems account for 24% of all cattle deaths. These problems are brought on by a disease called bovine respiratory disease. This disease has no cure, only an experimental treatment. This is only one of the many frightening facts of disease affecting agriculture. Livestock is vulnerable to many diseases, and this puts people at risk for catching the disease, possible contamination of the product, and even dramatic loss of the product. So it is in the United States' best interest to implement a research that will help find pharmaceuticals that will reduce the harmful effects that disease has on agriculture. So it's important to minimize disease in agriculture because most of these diseases, including leptospirosis, rabies, and bovine spongiform encephalopathy, can be transferred to humans. 60% of all human diseases and 75% of all infectious emerging diseases are zoonotic. This isn't just a problem for the animal, but for the person who's raising the animal. It's inhumane to leave people and animals vulnerable to deadly diseases. In the United States, there are regulations to keep from the overcrowding and miskeeping of animals, but this does not stop an outbreak or a spread from happening. We can use the recent outbreak of the H5N2 bird flu in a chicken distribution company of Iowa as an example. The company met all regulations and it did not stop the outbreak from happening. If it spread this easily, it will inevitably be transferred to humans. We must treat the animals first because they will catch it first. It is both logical and sensible to treat the source of any problem. Many of these diseases can cause problems with the product as well as death of the animal. This is a problem because you can't sell tainted milk or tainted meat. Brucellosis is a disease that causes abortions in cattle and pigs. This affects the amount of offspring or gilt or a heifer may have, which in turn isn't just a loss in profit, but also a loss of investment because a farmer just lost a cow to an infectious disease. In 1978, a poem was written named So God Made a Farmer. In this poem, Paul Harvey writes, God said, I need somebody who's willing to stay up all night with a newborn colt and watch it die. Then wipe his eyes and say, maybe next year. This was the cruel reality for 1978, but not for today. Things have changed. There are new technologies that can be utilized, including diagnostic kits and transgenic organisms that have found to actually produce different pharmaceuticals. In 2008, over 28,000 sheep were lost due to disease and illness. Of these are Johne's disease, brucellosis, and Clostridia, all of which have serious and fatal side effects. By leaving people vulnerable, we are calling for instability in a business, a farm, and a home. We must not leave the hardworking American citizens who are responsible for putting food on our tables at risk. So any infirmity that can cause loss of livestock can cause huge economic losses if production goes down due to an outbreak. If we can't sell as much, if we can't produce as much, we can't sell as much, nor can we feed our people, and we have to. This is a downfall because we can't trade as much and we lose foreign relationships. Another farm in Iowa had to cull over 5 million chickens in an effort to reduce the spread of an H1N1 flu. H1N1 strain, which is also known as the avian flu. This was a loss of over $10 million in the agriculture industry. This problem is in front of us, and it's not going away. Overall, finding medicine to help find pharmaceuticals will help us in the short run and the long run. If we can produce more, we can sell more, trade more, all the while reducing hunger. Thus, the more agriculture is growing, the more jobs being produced. The list of positive possibilities in facing this problem is never ending, because there is no bad side. The only preventative we have for disease today is the practice of precise vaccination and good hygiene. But this just isn't enough in our fight against disease. Like Brenda Shope's grandfather said, once in your life you will need a lawyer, a doctor, a teacher, and even a preacher. But every day, 3 times a day, you need a farmer. We must take on the role of mother of agriculture just as it has been doing for us for thousands of years. It is implementing research to find the pharmaceuticals to help secure the future of agriculture will be one of the best and easiest decisions anyone makes. The United States should care for and help develop the agricultural world just as a mother caring for her sick child, for the greater good of the future. Thank you.